Hello everyone, welcome to Redmen TV. Kickoff is less than an hour away at Old Trafford. I desperately wish I was there, but I'm not. I'm here in the studio and you are here to join me, apparently. Chris is on his way in. If you want to know the story of that, I would stay tuned to some of the post-match content, including the final word. But let's get stuck into what Liverpool are going to be doing on the pitch. I'm going to start with the players that are going to be there for us. In goal, as expected, it's Loris Karius. Right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold, which is interesting because we've got Joe Gomez on the bench, which means that Trent's been preferred. Now, I think a lot of us have said in years gone, down, you love having a scouser in games that matter because they know what it means. Now, in years gone by, prior to post Steven Gerrard to some extent, look, we've seen Jay Spearing in these games. Love Jay Spearing, put us all in for Liverpool, but that was the level we're talking about. This is Jay Spearing, who's currently at Blackpool. I don't think you throw Trent in for the sake of throwing him in. I think all of us can see in the last 2 or 3 weeks particularly, I think he's become our best right-back option. I think he's in a fantastic vein of form. Really got over his poor game in the FA Cup and he's gotten better and better. We know he played in this fixture last year and he was okay. For a young lad thrown in at the deep end, I thought he handled himself, he acquitted himself really well. But he's gone up so many levels since then, so that's a massive game for him, and it'd be interesting. In fact, if you could find the Man United team,
I've got it right
is
here.
McTominay playing?
He is indeed.
So they've got a man kid in that team. No Pogba.
No. Do you want me to just read it out now?
Go on, let's go through the Man United team.
So it's De Gea, Young, Smalling, Bailly, Valencia, Matic, McTominay, Rashford, Sanchez, Lukaku, Mata. I haven't verified that's correct. It's just what Damien Duffy said in the comments.
Okay, cool. Verify.
I'm sure he's got no reason to lie.
Well, no one ever lies in YouTube comments. So yeah, Lovren and Van Dijk. Lovren again preferred to Joel Matip, who's also on the bench. And I think that's absolutely right, if I'm honest, because this is the kind of game where it's a bit more blood and thunder. You need a lad who's going to be thundering into tackles, who's up for the fight, who's up for the physical thing. That's not Joel Matip's game. I've said this a number of times. I do think he lacks a little bit of killer edge. I do think he lacks aggression in how he plays. Not saying he can't get better at that, but right now, for this game, personally, I think Lovren's the perfect choice to partner, obviously Virgil van Dijk. Andy Robertson restored to the team, absolutely. Interesting one then is the midfield. It was a take-your-pick kind of situation. Gini Wijnaldum and Henderson miss out this time round, whether we're managing Henderson through this game or whether we genuinely feel that we really want Champ brings more steel, and I think that's a good balance in that midfield, if I'm honest. I think James Milner is playing probably at the best level he's played in a number of years, particularly in midfield. Fantastic of late, and he's got that experience, and Jurgen Klopp talked about it. He said, look, he's not surprised by his performances. We're talking about him in his pre-match press conference. He's not surprised in any way, shape or form. He knows how good Milner is, but he does talk about the importance of having lads with that level of experience in your team. So I think this could be a little bit of a double pivot, with Oxlade-Chamberlain being the one tasked to get forward and link the midfield to the attack, which he's done. Look, he did really well against Man City and he was excellent against Newcastle the other week as well. But it's encouraging to know that with Henderson and Wijnaldum there, you can mix it up and maintain a combative midfield if needs be. And I think particularly given you talk, if it is true that you've got Matic and McTominay in there, I'd be looking to bully McTominay as early as possible. And we know Matic, although he's got the capability of cutting up with occasional lucky worldies, and he is a very, very good player, Is he as mobile as he was in a couple of seasons ago? I'm not so sure. And the front three, picks itself. And again, just quickly to reiterate the subs-bench, Mignolet, Gomez, Matip, Henderson, Wijnaldum, Lallana, Solanke. So no Danny Ings, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But, I guess what it boils down to is just either keeping players fresh, keeping minutes available, and just maybe having that little bit of something else, that little bit of just having someone with a bit of height there if we need that later on in the game. We know Solanke's got the pace, he's great at nodding things down. Maybe that might be a tool we might need to call upon toward the end of the game. But yeah, I love that midfield. It goes without saying, I love the front line. I'm so happy with that team. That's as good a team as I think we're likely to put out. And again, the best thing is you've got Lallana to swap out for Oxlade-Chamberlain if needs be. Wijnaldum to bring into the midfield, or if you need to, I think we're pretty well stocked. Did you get confirmation on the team?
Yep, that was the team, yeah.
Okay, sound. So yeah, there you go. Let us know your thoughts. Si's got some comments right there. We're going to get to some of your opinions and thoughts on the team right now.
So Dinga Bell says Pogba's got the shits at the idea of playing against Mo Salah. Potato LFC says Salah will destroy Young today. Bless Tom says Young has got an error in him. We could definitely get some joy on that side.
The thing for me is that Bailly coming into the team's a big one for them. He's been a massive miss to their defence, so I don't think they're going to be as fragile necessarily as possible. Who's partnering Bailly at the back? Smalling. Now again, they've put their two fastest centre halves in, which I think is a real nod to the pace of Salah and Mane. What I'd like to see is a situation that we saw a few seasons ago where Fernando Torres was going up against Vidic and having him on toast. This is a great opportunity for the Mo Salah or Sadio Mane to basically end Chris Smalling. I wouldn't be upset to see that happen on the pitch today.
CT Video says, I'm really happy with how the midfield is looking. This game definitely suits all three of them, especially Milner and Chan. Yeah. And there's been quite a lot of people saying they're glad Milner's playing because he's in such good form. Well,
how do we think Man United are going to line up then? So it's going to be McTominay. You guess McTominay, Matic definitely. Is Mata the other midfielder? Yeah. So they've kind of gone very similar midfield structure to what we've gone for, which is interesting. So it means it's going to be pretty much a direct battle, I think. Between all three, and it's a case of, I just think ours is, we've just got a little bit more mobility to our midfield and maybe a touch more pace, although I can't attest to having seen loads of McTominay, of course, but we need to stop Juan Mata, and obviously you then hopefully at Oxlade-Chamberlain going up against a Matic. That's a big matchup, but there's going to be a really physical contest in the middle of the park, and I think we edge that, if I'm honest.
We've got a comment saying our subs bench is much better than theirs, so I'll just read out their subs. They've got Romero, Darmian, Lindelof, Shaw, Carrick, Fellaini and Lingard on the bench.
Okay, well Lingard's the big threat there, isn't he? As much as we like to have a little bit of a laugh at him, he's come on leaps and bounds this season. He's one of their top goal scorers. He's obviously not their top goal scorer, that's Lukaku, but having his best season as a footballer. I mean, he's at the right age to have a best season. He's not as young as everyone thinks he is, of course, but he's a threat. We know he can change games, but you're right. Michael Carrick basically pooed his pants and had to go off. I think this game, was it last season or was it even the season before? Look, we know he's not the power that he once was, of course. If we're coming to a situation where they need to bring Michael Carrick into this game, I think that means that Liverpool are in a very positive situation. So no, I agree. That definitely bodes well, and you hope that the longer the game goes, the more hopefully it should favour us. One more, please, say.
So Kieran Shard Maple says, Paul mate, do you think Chan will sit completely or will be given a bit of freedom? This worries me with United's attacking threat.
I think because Chan is more natural and he's more natural at breaking things up, I think we will see more of him sitting. But what I think this midfield allows us to do, we started to see hints of it against Newcastle, and we've seen it in recent weeks, is that when the situation demands it, we'll see Emre Can push on and James Milner will just go in and sit in. And even when the then situation demands it even further, and I wouldn't necessarily want this in a counter-attack situation, but Oxlade-Chamberlain will go in and sit there. Not ideal, but what I think we've got and why I think we've got such great midfield balance. And it's true whether you've got Henderson and Wijnaldum in there as well, and even Lallana to some extent. All three of these guys understand where the other two are supposed to be, so that if the situation demands it, if we are stretched for any situation or any reason, these guys know to come and cover him when needs be, particularly with someone like James Milner. So yeah, I look, that is a concern. But then, it's a concern when you come up against a good team. Man United are a fantastic football team, loath as I am to say it. They're second in the table for a reason. They're above us in the table for a reason. Now, they've lost more games of football than us. They've got an amazing home record, but we've got an amazing away record. So it's going to be a fantastic occasion. And I think, honestly, we've seen a lot of draws. We've seen a lot of these games be quite boring in recent years. I think could be the one. I've got a really good feeling about this. And even if we don't, I've got a feeling we're going to get one over Man United at Old Trafford this season. Hopefully it comes in the league and then subsequently comes in the European Cup. But if it doesn't quite come here today, I'd take it in the European Cup on the way to winning that. Let me know your thoughts. Are you confident? Are you nervous? Leave it in the comments below. Listen, if you think the mighty Reds can go and take all 3 points at Old Trafford, drop a like on this video right now. Do it, because it matters. This game means so much to me. I've got Derby belly. Chris Prater's coming in soon. I'm going to give him a big stinky hug because he probably smells really bad. Other than that, check back at half-time for the live show and a full-time for the live shows. If you can't fill enough time between now and then, amazing content on the channel. Go and watch the preview with Cheeky Sport, United People's All Full-Time Devils, and then go over to their channels and go like that as well. Less so Cheeky Sport. Thanks for watching. Come on, you mighty Reds.